Hello everyone. Welcome to 2022. Get ready. There's gonna be so many changes happening. I want to do a different type of video where I'm just going to write down what comes to me instead of prepping. So if you want to just like put your phone down and listen to what I'm saying instead of watch the video, that would make sense. But I'm gonna start it off by just letting myself go into a flow, seeing where this video takes us, and bringing through what to expect for the year of 2022, and relating that to the changes that, a lot of changes that happened in 2021. So yeah, the first thing we'll talk about is I had this incredible dream last night, and I kind of want to tune into it and see what it means more in depth. But basically, I was in the Grand Canyons. I know nothing about the Grand Canyons. Um, I was with four children. They were about like 10 to 12, and they were super smart. Like, this is what I believe are like hybrid children, souls that are waiting to be born into this dimension as the consciousness raises, as we raise the planetary consciousness collectively. Their vibration is a match to be born here, and they're coming into this world with so many different skills and abilities, and they're just incredibly intelligent. And okay, yeah. So basically, they were telling me that the Grand Canyons, they called it the sea of DNA underneath of the Grand Canyon. And they said that there is basically a whole system in place. And they said there's 3 channels. I'm assuming that means it's leading to other, like how the rivers or the oceans would flow into other places or other bodies of water. I'm assuming it's as above, so below, that there's a similar system that's in place under the Grand Canyon, the under the surface level. And they were saying that the naked people are waiting for the planetary consciousness to be of a higher resonance, of a higher vibration, so that they can bring about a level of remembrance. And I was like, who are the naked people? And they were basically saying that they were versions of us. They've been here since the planet has really started, and that they're underground and they're waiting. And that the water that is down there is again this, like, I guess, water that's been around since the start, that there's memory, history stored within the cells of this water. I don't know if water has cells actually, but that's how I interpreted it. Like the I guess the atomic level, when you boil it down, that there's some capability this water has to retain information. And that the naked people were basically like ETs. They were these other species, these other beings where their consciousness is so much more evolved. And I was like, how do you get into, how do you get underground? How do I go where you're showing me? And they showed me that there's multiple tunnels that you can access this, but surface people can't, it sounded like survive down there. Like the environment's just not a match, just like how the environment appears in a match to them. And I was going down this super long tunnel. It was, you could just feel the layers of the rock, very rigid. I guess not rigid, like almost smoothed out, kind of like you were going down, I guess, like probably like an intestine. And I was just going down this huge tunnel, and there was like no end to it because it was so deep. And I guess the beings that are under there can go up through it, but for us to go down, it isn't livable. It didn't make sense. So I just want to see if I missed anything here. Yeah, waiting for the planetary consciousness to rise before the exposure and remembrance of our soul's history can be integrated. The Grand Canyon, water underneath 3 channels, the DNA sea. Seeing activates DNA, awareness, remembrance, and integration. So, how they're waiting basically for the vibration the of the surface planetary level to reach a state of consciousness um, where they can come up and integrate. Basically, we're integrating with a part of ourselves because they have a level of remembrance that we don't have, and that unlocks a level of our DNA and our awareness and the integrating process that that takes. And it's a huge leap in consciousness. Like, this is very quantum. And in order for that to happen individually, there needs to be a shift into that frequency first, into that remembrance first. And on a planetary level, as more and more people are awakening and evolving to their quantum self and remembering who they are energetically, um, it will allow a match, it will allow a resonance for other beings to coexist here. And I have no idea what the timeline is for this. Like, this is probably like generational, like multiple. And like, it is, the beginning of the golden age. So we're kind of at the beginning of this. So I don't know, I found this dream like really just fascinating, the information that it brings. And again, take it or leave it. This is a perspective. This is a dream. But for me, I feel dreams are a level of truth and there's a level of awareness there. And all information is valid and you can learn or take anything from it if your mind is open enough to it. So, yeah, this week has been really draining. Like, has anyone else been feeling this way? It has been the last, I would say, 2 or 3 days, like super weird dreams. Other than last night, that was okay. Just fatigued, tired, exhausted. There's no reason for it. It's more of an energetic feeling. It kind of feels like you're just not fully in your body. And it's hard to be here. And I really believe and feel like this is happening more and more often now, especially as we're shifting and upgrading. And always when there's a spike in the collective, especially when it comes to fear now, that our bodies are so sensitive. It literally disables us. It is so intense to hold space for that amount of density. Okay, yeah. Wow, my ear's ringing. Okay, I'm just gonna close my eyes and kind of see where to go from here. Yeah, okay. So 2021 was really this huge catalyst of change, and it feels like basically March of 2020 was a period of initiation, and there's always the aspect of destruction, therefore creation. And as creators, we are constantly going through this process. So depending on your life and your vibration and your situation, whatever wavelength or journey you're on, especially if you're listening to this video, I'm sure it will resonate with you. There was a lot of shifting that was taking place during that time, and whether or not you took action upon that. So usually when these shifts starts, it comes through our feelings, our emotions, a feeling of restlessness or grief or unhappiness, stagnation, time of contemplation, isolation. There's different emotions we need to move through as we're receiving our feelings. And as we're stepping into more of our quantum selves, more of our energetic self, and creating from that place, there's an awareness that we have when we're able to really observe what we're feeling and what those feelings are signaling to our higher self, our higher being. So those feelings are a way to really guide us and to really make themselves known. So instead of getting lost within those feelings, you can now understand and perceive them through processing them, through feeling them, because that is much of an experience that is needed, and then taking action on them. So you can have the realization basically from really digesting your feelings and integrating your thoughts now. So it creates a very clear state of being that is very digestible to take action upon and to shift, or the cycle continues to repeat. So right, okay. Okay, 1 second. So 222 was a year of digestion. It was a year of sensitivity, clearing, purging. And that alone is massive, that level of integration. And depending on the shifts that you made, 221 was again more of an actionable, integrative experience where it's almost like you had a year to really shift, to get clear, to make those subtle changes, to become aware of your feelings, your thoughts, your energy, who you are, how you feel around others, and really refine yourself. And 221 was this period of taking those actionable steps to allow that change to have room to create, to grow, and to shift into another reality, basically. And through that process, as you're continuing to evolve and grow, you're allowing other aspects of yourself to come online, other parts of your DNA to be expressed. So that takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of confidence, and it takes you moving through fear to really, express those parts of yourself, because it's so easy for us to retreat, for us to go back in and repeat the same habits or patterns. So there was this level of conscious upgrading that is continuing to happen that allows you now to operate from a much more clear, stable state of being, where you have a better foundation when it comes to your emotions and your thought process and how you show up for yourself and support yourself and understand your own body's unique sensitivities to energy. So, yeah, at the beginning of 221, especially moving into the summer, there's just so much time of integration, and it felt like we were really moving through so much fear and going through that journey individually. And now as we're stepping into 222, the work we did in 2021 of really solidifying ourselves by losing ourselves and recreating ourselves and opening up that channel and understanding the energy sources that we're creating from, have given us a template, have given us a really amazing foundation to move into 2022 as a leader and really activating that change. Having those stable foundations, those stable roots energetically, depending obviously on, your own unique situations and where everyone is at, that is still very external, and that is where the matrix can keep us really stuck. Where when you bring it back inside, nothing has changed. You're still constantly evolving, and to keep yourself in a box or a limitation from anything outside of yourself is only going to stunt your growth. So having this responsibility now, this remembrance, this awakening, this shift that we are energy and we create from energy, it's of huge importance to remember that your thoughts are especially powerful, and the level at which you are able to manifest, having any density or lower energy behind that is detrimental to your growth, and you'll see how it manifests and how it takes shape in the physical world. So when you start building from a place of your inner reality of trust and faith and love and these higher vibrations, oh yeah, we'll talk about that too, you're really able to see what you have created and now what you must destroy in order to again grow and evolve. So the individual foundation was huge for 2021. 2022 is uh, the collective. It's finally taking up space within the collective, within the environment. So, yeah, if you are in a place where you've been feeling these shifts, you've made these changes, um, so many people, including myself, are really struggling to maintain their vibration within their environment. And that environment is for um, our growth. So again, you see the environment as yourself, and you see the shifts that are needing to be made outside of yourself now, because you can see what resonates and what does not resonate, because you feel either higher or lower in that environment, in that state you are in. And again, it's a reflection of our state of being. And there's a time of like really integrating and understanding, and then the action is needed. So there's the mental evolution and the conscious awareness, and then it's time to take and trust those steps. So your environment, depending on, friend groups, work, family, whatever it is, there's just a shift of almost like I don't fit in. And it's not because you're not fitting in, it's because you're not a match to that resonance anymore. And what you're really feeling is your higher self, your higher alignment, your higher thoughts. You're feeling your body tell you what is in alignment and what is not. So I would say like the biggest theme for 2022 is equilibrium. It's balance. It's really learning how to be an alchemist, how to create your environment, create your reality from an inward place first. And you're gonna see your reality shift and change so much on the exterior because of what you're shifting internally in the interior. And that's powerful. That is a true creator. And that takes a lot of alignment um, and resonance. And with where our thoughts are at in our vibration, our reality is always a perfect match. So moving forward, it's again, the work never stops, but it's like, okay, you really see where you're at and you're really feeling what needs to change. And for a lot of people, this means breaking off. It means creating their own unique reality that matches their vibration, and knowing that it will be filled with other energies that are of the same caliber, of the same energy, the same frequency. And the process is now really going to be accelerated. So yeah, hold on, I want to see what else I wrote down though. Yeah, so I wrote down 2021 was for huge change, digestion, sensitivity within ourselves. 2022, change in the environment, harder to exist in a space that no longer resonates. This is a part of our evolution and shifting into the fifth dimensional frequency, which is basically a higher consciousness and a higher vibration. It's a higher dimension to live in because okay, yeah, let's dive in there. So basically, I guess a year ago now, I made a video talking about how the world was polarized. It was splitting, and like the cells of a mitosis, the world was shifting into two different alignments, and it was love and it was hate. And with this new information, what that to go even deeper, what it really means is that um, the world's, think of it as a consciousness, and with where the collective consciousness is at right now, it's very clear to see a fear-based consciousness and a love-based consciousness, and within each of those are different vibrations and energies and densities that exist that you can create your reality from. And contrast is always needed uh, to see your own self, because without that contrast, um, it would be boring, it would be stagnant, it would be still. So moving into a higher state of being, into this fifth dimensional frequency, again, that's just one layer of another dimension that we're woven together with. And it allows our consciousness to remember that we are quantum and that we can create from energy and from our thoughts and from our inner reality. And that basically pulls you out of anything exterior that you've attached yourself to when it comes to identity. That could be as simple as like identifying as the car that you drive because it makes you feel powerful. It's like, you don't need that car to make you feel powerful. You can have your own self and walk and feel just as powerful. So it's again helping you refine who you are and the attachments you have so that you can again pull your energy in and be whole within yourself. You are the source of your creation, and that's why aligning to a higher thought process, a higher state of being, you're much more in flow and balance with the reality that you live in, that you're creating. So depending on which space you want to create from or live in, love has, the energies of gratitude and joy and abundance and freedom and bliss. Then you have fear that has definitely like hatred, judgment, what's that word, where you're comparing yourself to other people, competition. It's really everything outside of yourself. And depending on the programs that you are currently working through, this is massive right now to reprogram the energy sources you create from. And that means you can wake up and enjoy your cup of coffee and you're like, oh, this is honestly the best cup of coffee I've ever had. And you're already coming at it with a good energy. Or you could wake up and you're just like, oh, give me my coffee. And you just need to have your coffee because you're tired, and it's that fix. So again, same reality, two different energies to create it from. Such a simple example, but that simplicity has a huge energetic effect, because if you have moments like that throughout your day where you're in gratitude, or moments where you're kind of in that lack where you need it, where you're not really conjuring an energy from it, will create a different reality. You're basically putting into practice living in a more joyful, abundant, gratitude-filled way that, again, reflects who you are and helps you reprogram your everyday reality, how you see the world and how you feel within the world and within the space that you take up and the presence that you have. So moving forward, there's a choice that's needing to be made. What reality do you want to exist in? What energy sources are you creating your reality from? Because those energy sources, the reality that you're living from, is going to be made very apparent right now, because time feels super weird and things are very excelled because we're shifting into a higher frequency. So the thoughts and the manifestations are happening rapidly. So making sure that you've created a practice and a hygiene, an energetic hygiene, is massive. So how you're spending your time creating consciously and what source of energy are you creating from, and making sure you're cleaning your hygiene. That could be having a shower and cleansing yourself with the water after you're, done existing in the world and you come home, whether that's like flow or yoga, or whether that's journaling, whatever process you have to cut that connection, those cords, and realign with yourself, God source, whatever you want to call it, is huge. Making sure you're stabilizing and practicing that stabilization, that recalibration every day, moving forward, so that you can basically recharge yourself to move out in this world. And I would say this specifically relates to people who are sensitive, intuitive, psychic. It's all under the same umbrella. But basically, if you feel energetically drained or called to, or there's a shift in your energy and it's hard to stabilize, like that energetic hygiene routine is like going to be very helpful for stabilizing yourself, stabilizing your energy, because you're creating a practice and a devotion where you're honoring yourself, you're honoring your connection, and you're taking time to come back into yourself instead of giving all your energy outside of yourself. It's just as important to recharge our own cup, to refill our own cup. I'm just gonna close my eyes here and kind of see what else comes through for 2022. Okay, cool. Okay, so there's a huge emphasis on the gut, and oh, I love this. And just like how we were just talking about energetic hygiene, um, I would say that's more for your energetic body, and that's building a connection with the energetic body and the mental body. And with those practices, you're constantly making sure they're in alignment. And we talked about the feelings and the emotions you have, digesting them, processing them, integrating them. And you're basically creating this trinity between the three. And that's going to allow you to really create and move through this space, move through this world. The stomach, though, the digesting of the stomach, we're really moving into, I guess this makes sense because that's where the butterflies come from, and your intuition and trusting your gut, basically. So there's a level of trust that's needed now with your own abilities, with your sensitivity, trusting the process, trusting who you are, trusting what you are creating. And to me, it feels like showing up more in the moment and allowing reality to be created because you are a match to it, but also digesting and cleansing your stomach. So, okay, how do I explain this? I feel like they're talking about the light body right now, digesting information. Okay, so the stomach being like a really clear connection to our consciousness. So it feels like there's this reminder right now to cleanse your stomach. So whether this is like a juice cleanse, or maybe you're cutting meat out, you're cutting out more density, basically like aligning your body to operate and to give it the fuel of light that it needs. You are filling your body up with a lightness. You are filling it up with foods that are created from the earth, from the light, from the elements. And that is going to allow you to have a much more clear state of being, a much more clear state of consciousness, almost like intermittent fasting. You're giving yourself kind of a rest and reset phase to connect. A I just want to see what is the connection here with the light body. Okay, so putting into practice, yes, healthy diet, eating healthier, um, filling your body, your vessel up with more light to connect to a clear consciousness. Okay, so it's this consciousness that is kind of being highlighted right now, where as our vibration is raising, it's okay, that makes sense. We're shifting our mindset, we're shifting the emotions, we're shifting the energetic. Now we are shifting the physical. So, not just outside of ourselves and our friends, our job, whatever. This is about shifting our physical being. So, filling your vessel, your body, your soul with more light so that it can integrate and receive a more clear channel to these higher forms of consciousness that are coming into the planet right now, that we are meant to embody, to create from. So, receiving those thoughts, receiving those insights that are clear and much more aligned to a higher way of thinking. So, an example of this, what is an example? An example would be you wake up and you're repeating the same thought process all the time. And that's huge because you're sending those thoughts out into the space that you're creating. You're sending those thoughts out into the environment that you are in. So you can think of those thoughts as the sun that are fueling yourself. So clearing your gut, clearing that stagnation, creating an open channel to align to a higher consciousness, you're gonna be clearing those thoughts. Clearing seems to be a huge word that's coming through right now because you're recreating your consciousness. You're evolving your consciousness. You're allowing yourself to receive higher thought forms and clearing out that density. And when you start aligning to those thought forms, you're going to be able to create a new reality because you're shifting your internal world and the sources of energy and the thoughts that are creating you into a higher vibration. And doing so is therefore going to affect how you walk through this world, how people feel around you, and also the reality you live in and what you are creating in this world, which is amazing. That's the whole point of this. There's something else though about the light body. Okay, aligning to higher consciousness, aligning to our light body. Okay. So yes, oh, beautiful. So just like the food that we are digesting, that we are intaking, what I'm being shown is, or for me, I'm more clairaudience. What I'm being told is that our consciousness that we're aligning to, you can think about it as food that you're digesting. You know, you're digesting your thoughts in that sense. So just like we're eating cleaner, we're clearing our physical, we're creating a clean space, like you're cleaning your home. Now we are filling it with those higher energies, and that is food for thought. Oh, that's so funny. That's true. It's food for thought, but it's food that is fueling our consciousness. And the more, again, that we create a healthy diet for our consciousness, for our food, the 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 better we will be able to operate and think from. I definitely suffer from ADD. And when I'm channeling like this, it allows my mind to go into 100 different places, because again, you're creating that space, you're creating that food, and you're aligning to it. So I feel like that's what the message is here, is really getting to understand who you are, where your energy is at, what source you're creating from, and creating the healthy routines for you, the hygiene that help you function, help you create. There's still something more though that I want to dive into. Something about the light body, consciousness. Something about technology. Just give me a second here. Light codes. Oh, how do I make sense of this? Maybe I'll just keep my eyes shut for this. Okay, they're talking about um, basically initiating our body, preparing our body. Oh, cool. Yes. Wow. Okay, so they're relating this um, to the process of death, and that death is an initiation. We are going through we are going through an awakening is to go through the death of ourself. That initiation is needed to transcend beyond the physical. And we have the gift of consciousness. We have the gift of creation. We are able to transcend the physical via our consciousness and be in this dimension, be in this state of being while bringing in higher consciousness, higher dimensions of existence. That is the multidimensionality that we are connected to. So as we are filling our body up with more light, we are aligning to a higher consciousness, we are constantly transcending, and we are being made more aware of energy, sensitivity, and remembrance of these other dimensions, remembrance of our existence on other planetary sources, on other dimensions, that we are able to create from each of those sources. And that's why calling in your energy is so important, to call on those aspects of us, to create from that internal place, to help create this reality here, because there's a version of us that has already transcended. They have already done this. Okay, that's funny. They're saying like it would be foolish of us not to. Basically, our body is a technology, and I'm kind of being shown like, if we were to operate from that level of consciousness, that vibration, our cells would be shifting so rapidly. And I'm literally seeing us like turn into light and just like poof out of here, which is, I guess in a sense, like the death process. Like they're kind of showing another way to leave the planet, without the suffering, without the pain. This is a conscious death. This is a conscious ascension. This is a conscious initiation. You are consciously manifesting yourself. And that's basically what this higher consciousness is here to help assist us with, is remembering how to manifest internally first, creating that practice, watching it be created. This feels like it's going to take like generations, but by us doing it in this time and space, the generations to come, as the vibration is raising, they're going to come in with even more of a remembrance with how to do this, and the planet will keep shifting that way. We're basically our own technology. And you can think about the technology that's being created outside of ourselves. We have that all within us. But the world is dense right now. That's why a lot of us are here to remember and to bring that remembrance back. And then we're going to watch that shift outside of ourselves with the generations to come. There's still something more, I can feel it. Something about the light body technology, the process of death, living longer. Okay, so it's basically, really trying to balance and stabilize the vibration of love, living out of love. For me, like I connect with the Pleiades, and it's basically what their whole teaching is about. Like to me, it feels very Venusian, it feels very Pleiadian. It is Yeah, really stabilizing the vibration of love. So even within the struggle that most of us have been through that have helped create us, there is also the love and the beauty and the teachings and the learning through those experiences. Instead of it, creating you and creating that suffering, and now you're in a program where you spend your whole life basically living in the past, we're able to really clear that now, generationally through the lineage, and uh, operate and live out of a higher vibration, a higher frequency to be a match for it. And as you're continuing to do this work, it's like, yes, get out of the purpose and understand that you are moving through moment to moment. You are a vibrational match. That is the most important thing to align yourself to, and allow that moment, allow that trust, allow that purpose to present itself, because you already know the movement, the direction that you are wanting to go down, and really allow reality to create that. It's just like nature, nature has no purpose in the sense of when it's destroying or creating and bringing back life. It is just in flow, it is in harmony, and we work in the same. We need to stop resisting our nature and allow that process in our own lives to manifest, so that we may walk through it, and we may consciously create through it, through that process. Um, Yeah, it's quite beautiful learning how to. Okay, so that is why there's like such an importance with clearing the programs, clearing the subconscious mind, so that we can align ourselves to the present, and we can now create from our true pure source. We can align to our own inner teacher. We are now creating from a higher source of energy. We're aligning our body physically with more light, with more clarity. We are aligning our thoughts with a routine, their own diet to digest, and it is in balance, it is in harmony with our emotions, and therefore that brings a level of awareness, a level of observation, and a level of beingness, I guess a state of being, that we're able to move out into this world. So no one can disempower you anymore, because you've just re-empowered yourself. And creating that practice each and every single day is like of uttermost importance, utmost importance. Regardless, it's just of a huge importance to create that new program, because it's going to allow us to hold space for a lot of the light codes, a lot of the consciousness, and a lot of the creation energy that is trying to be fueled through us to literally assist us in creating the life we came here to. Um, I think that's it. Yeah, there was something more about the process of death and the initiation, and it was kind of bringing me back to Egypt and the honoring that they would have and how they see death and that transition. Um, but I feel like I'll save that for another video. But anyways, yeah, that was amazing. That was super cool. I can't wait to I don't even remember what I said. I can't wait to rewatch this and integrate what just happened. I love you. Have the most amazing year. Also I'm thinking February, I'm going to open up to doing readings again, and really help assist other people along their own journey, their own soulful evolution, and incorporating a mix between tarot, intuitive reading, and most importantly, being a mirror to help someone reflect back to who they are, and to help them remember themselves, and to create that space to offer that service to humanity and to other people along this journey, because I really believe that it is so important right now to assist and support one another as we are all going through this incredible journey. So I love you. I will see you in the next now moment.